Hello, hello. I am excited for this one because we'll be making very relatable sentences that we can use in conversations, and it'll give us personality. It'll give us not just these kind of dry sentences, but we'll be able to put uh, some soul into it. Alrighty. But before we do that, let's go over the pronunciation. And I've capitalized the letters of emphasis, and they are the same places for all of these words. So, um, so that should suffice. Yeah. So I call these cognitives. It's kind of my invention of the term. I'm not sure if in the industry or in the academic field they're called this way, but basically these are like verbs that deal with our thoughts or understanding or feelings. This one in the corner here, or sadly sitting here in the corner, is кажется. Кажется, it has the same it's a reflexive type as нравится. So if you were to use it, you would be using the dative case pronouns with it, uh, like мне and so on. But we will never get to this one because there's just so much we can do with these already, and I'd rather I'd rather us do these well and not expand too much. But I at first I wanted to do it, but I just kept it there. So it's going to be sitting sadly in a corner by itself. I also decided not to do the rest of the pronouns. As I thought about this class, I think I made it too pronoun heavy. Um, in conversations, you will primarily be using pronouns for yourself and for the person you're talking to. And then the usage will drop off significantly. You'll be saying he or she or him or her, less often, and even less often you'll be saying us and them and they. So I think that it's worth our while just to focus on these more so that we can really get good at them and not cast too wide of a net. So, anyway, let's go over. So, we will be using subject pronouns for all of these. They'll be driving the action. And this verb is думать, думать, which means to think. Знать, знать, which means to know, and понимать, понимать, which means to understand. And all of these are imperfect. And let's go over conjugating them for each pronoun. Я думаю. Я думаю, which means I think. Я знаю. Я знаю, which means I know. Я понимаю. Я понимаю, which means I understand. And this is so important that I wanted to put it right there in the table, although you can easily derive it yourself by now, I'm sure. But я не понимаю. Я не понимаю, which means I don't understand, which is one of the most important sentences you can know when you're going to be talking to others in the new language. Okay, let's go to the formal you. Ты. Ты думаешь. Again, the letter of emphasis is just the same as here. Ты думаешь, which means you think. Ты знаешь, ты знаешь, which means you know. Ты понимаешь, ты понимаешь, which means you understand. And we did not go over this in class, but let's do the formal as well because we are civilized people and we need to know how to speak in formal settings as well. Вы is the subject formal pronoun for you in Russian, as I'm sure you know by now. Вы думаете. Вы думаете means you think. Вы знаете. Вы знаете. Again, the letter of emphasis is the same as in this case on the a. And all of these T's are soft. So if you say вы думаете, that's not good pronunciation. Make that T soft. Те, те, те. Вы думаете. Вы знаете. And the same here. Вы понимаете. Вы понимаете. Yeah. Okay, so now there will be other sentences besides this structure, but this is our idea is we use the subject pronoun, we use the cognitive conjugated to that pronoun, and then we're going to use the word что. We've already used it before with мне нравится to make, to combine sentences. And now we'll be using it here as well. I should tell you that the word что in most of these cases is optional. You will be understood and it'll be grammatically correct in most cases without it. But we're not going to go into, trying to distinguish where we can get away without using it at this stage. Let's just learn to use it all the time. That way we don't have to think. And then should you choose to pursue Russian further, as your sense of the language uh, gets more and more advanced, you will be able to decide for yourself where you can drop it if you so choose. So I put it in the square brackets, denoting that it's in most cases optional, but we'll be using it all the time. And then we'll make whatever sentence there is after that. So that's the structure. And let's get started. I don't understand. Я не понимаю. Я не понимаю. I don't understand you. And this sentence is so short that we can do both informal and formal at once with two sentences. And by now, you probably know that when the verb acts directly on the pronoun, it will be the accusative case. In fact, I think it applies for the noun also. And if you ask yourself, okay, well, which pronoun do we use? Well, it's not going to be the subject pronoun because it's the verb acts on it. And we only know two object pronouns, which is меня, as we did with меня зовут and у меня есть, and the other one is мне, which is to me. Well, in this case, to me does not apply, so it's got to be it's the one that's without, the one that doesn't have to involved, not the dative case, basically. So that's hopefully you can start to navigate this way when you decide which object pronoun to use. Because right now you're basically choosing just between two. I don't understand you. Я не понимаю тебя. That's the informal. Я не понимаю вас. That's the formal. Do you understand me? And again, we can do this for formal and informal. Ты понимаешь меня? Вы понимаете меня? I know you, both informal and formal. Я знаю тебя. Я знаю вас. You know me, both informal and formal. Ты знаешь меня. Вы знаете меня. You don't know me yet, informal. And for yet, we will use еще. Еще. Ты меня еще не знаешь. Ты меня еще не знаешь. If you went directly from English and said ты не знаешь меня еще, that doesn't sound very that's you will be understood, but this is the most natural way to say it the way I have it here. I know that you know, informal. Я знаю, что ты знаешь. Я знаю, что ты знаешь. I think so, but you don't think so. Informal. And in place of the words so, we can use the word tak. Я так думаю, но ты так не думаешь. Я так думаю, но ты так не думаешь. This is the most natural word order. If you said, how would that go? Я думаю так, но ты не думаешь так. You would be understood, but it doesn't sound as natural. You think I don't know? Formal. Вы думаете, что я не знаю? Вы думаете, что я не знаю? Вы думаете, что я не знаю? Yeah, that's how it would sound in a live conversation. What do you think? Informal. Что ты думаешь? Что ты думаешь? I know that you need to eat now. Formal. Я знаю, что вам нужно есть сейчас. Я знаю, что вам нужно есть сейчас. Do you understand that I can't do it today? Informal. Ты понимаешь, что я не могу делать это сегодня? Ты понимаешь, что я не могу делать это сегодня? Now, this is where perfect and imperfect um, matters a lot because are we talking about doing something today that we routinely do, that we just continue doing some kind of an action? Or are we talking getting something done today, like a certain task by a certain time? In this case, in the latter case, we would need to use the perfect version of the verb to do, which we haven't studied yet. As I was saying, sometimes, um, you know, getting perfect and imperfect means mixed up doesn't matter as much, but sometimes it can lead to a misunderstanding that maybe something isn't due, and it's merely enough to just do some of it today, as opposed to getting it done today. So, for this reason, I think we will go over some perfects um, in our lecture number 5. I think that you need more. I hope you remember the word for more. And this is formal. Я думаю, что вам нужно больше. Я думаю, что вам нужно больше. Do you think that I like being here? Formal. Вы думаете, and I forgot что. In this case, it could have been dropped. I'll just read it without the что, but know that что can definitely go here between думаете and мне. Вы думаете, мне нравится быть тут? Вы думаете, мне нравится быть тут? And it's not necessarily the word что that can be the union between sentences. In this case, it would be a different word. It would be the word for how. I hope you remember what it is. And this is informal. Do you know how loud it is there? Ты знаешь, как там громко? Ты знаешь, как там громко? If you said ты знаешь, как громко там, you would also be understood. But this is more natural. I don't think you understand. Informal. Я не думаю, что ты понимаешь. Я не думаю, что ты понимаешь. I know that you like to drink beer there. I hope you remember the word for beer way back from our second lecture. Я знаю, что вам нравится пить пиво там. Я знаю, что вам нравится пить пиво там. Do you think I want to wait for you? Informal. Ты думаешь, что я хочу ждать тебя? Ты думаешь, что я хочу ждать тебя? You know I like studying Russian. I already know English. And for already, we will use the word уже. Уже. And this is informal. Ты знаешь, что мне нравится учить русский. Я уже знаю английский. Ты знаешь, что мне нравится учить русский. Я уже знаю английский. Ты знаешь, что мне нравится учить русский. Я уже знаю английский. You know I like to play poker. formal. And as a reminder, in Russian, um, when we play something, we play in something. And the preposition for in is v. Вы знаете, что мне нравится играть в покер. Вы знаете, что мне нравится играть в покер. I know you don't like to do too little. And for the word too, we will use слишком. Слишком. And this is informal. And I dropped the что again. I'll go ahead and read it without it, but it can go between знаю and тебе. Я знаю, тебе не нравится делать слишком мало. Я знаю, тебе не нравится делать слишком мало. Я знаю, тебе не нравится делать слишком мало. I don't think he likes paying too much. Oh, I forgot that one. I forgot to put a slide for that one. Let's see, what would it be? I don't think he likes paying too much. Я не думаю, что ему нравится платить слишком много. Я не думаю, что ему нравится платить слишком много. And I believe this is our last one. I like studying Russian so much, you don't even know. Now, for so much, in this case, we can just use the word tak. In fact, if you said, you know, the word for much is много, so if you said, tak много, it would actually sound wrong. So you can substitute the entire thing so much with tak. However, the word order will matter here. You will have to put the word tak right after мне. If you put it in the end, you will be saying, I like studying Russian like this. Yeah, that's what you would be saying if you put it in the end of the first sentence. So usually I say that the word order doesn't matter very much, except there's a slight maybe difference in emphasis. But in this case, it does matter. I like studying Russian so much, you don't even know. Мне так нравится учить русский. Ты даже не знаешь. Мне так нравится учить русский. Ты даже не знаешь. Now, I know in English, we say you don't even know. So we put even between the negation and the verb. In Russian, that would sound wrong. If you said ты не даже знаешь, that's not going to fly at all. I should have said that as well. So yeah, the order matters in the second one as well. Um, we actually, I'm not going to generalize. Yeah, that's just how you say this one. I think that's the last one. Yeah, that's it.